Okay, so this is the truck which was in my shed for a while, and it's not too bad. Like, you can't see any rust or anything like that, which is really good. On the front of it. And what year it is, I'm not exactly sure 100%. I think it's 58 or 57 or something like that. Definitely pre-60. And it's before the J series. There is a bit of damage. You can see at the front here is a bent frame, undercarriage. Just at the front section here, but then it straightens up. So someone's run into something at some stage. Just walking around it. Now I've taken the seats out of the truck. I've just started cleaning it up a little bit. So all the seats are coming out. The actual chassis looks good, no major rust. There is a flat tyre in the front there. Flat tyre. The chassis, look, there is a little bit of rust there, so a little bit of work to get that fixed. Look at the top section. Inside the cabin there, come back to it. Around there, good. Yeah. Trays in reasonable condition. Just find a few things back here. Underneath it. It's all there, all solid. Come around this way a bit. Still got the number plate, Queensland number plate, which is quite amazing. Yeah, it's all pretty good. On this side here. That. Yeah, so there it is. A bit of a project, but what I'm trying to do now really is I'm going to put a tarp over it and all that, stop it from. I've started cleaning the inside out here, and this was just full of dirt, so I've actually started scraping the dirt off there. And under that seat, there was the seat, which seat I was removed, that was just full of stuff. Now what I've found here, just under that seat there's a few bits and pieces, some accessories, some not tools, but bits and pieces from the truck. And there was a set of rings just sitting here in a box which was empty, and all the rings were inside there amongst all the dirt. And I think what's happened is that the mice have got in here, or the rats, and they've really had a party in here for a while, and they've made an absolute mess, and they've actually done some damage with all that seat there. So I pulled out the front seat here and the other seat here. Now the front seat is in really nice condition. Funny that's actually, there's actually still soft. There's no cracking, which is quite amazing. It's been sitting under, that's because it's been sitting under the cover. So this seat is good, and this one hasn't been damaged. But this seat here, this is the passenger seat. It's pretty soft material, which is good. But unfortunately, as I just discovered just now, just on the side here, there's a big hole. And on the other side, now the mice they've eaten us up, and they made a big nest inside that seat. And the funny thing is, this is a ring from the engine, which was sitting on the in a box on the floor. All these rings were scattered throughout the place, and I actually found one of these rings inside there. So the mice have not only found leaves and whatnot, they've actually taken bits of metal and started building their home with bits of metal. Now, while I was pulling this stuff out, I saw something moving there, so I quickly jumped out of the road, and yes, the mouse has jumped out of there. So yeah, it was an active mice living in this thing, the seat, which was quite scary when it jumped out, because I had my hand in there and I was sort of pulling stuff out, and I could see something move, and I thought, well, there's something in there. So yeah, that was pretty scary. So I think this you should look at. This is just a mouse. This is not the original seat. This is just a mouse nest, what I'm pulling out there. So I'm not going to do too much, because that dust isn't probably real good for you either. So yeah, and unfortunately they've done considerable damage. Whether I might be able to still recover the seat as an original. I don't want to destroy it. It could be two big holes there. Maybe I could do something there and fix that up, because I like to keep this kind of original if I can. Apart from that bit of damage, I think that seat is not in bad shape. It's still soft. A few holes here and there, but that's because we'll try and fix that up without having to pull that up. But that's the original seats. Well, that's the original thing. And I'm inside the cab. There's a fair bit of surface rust, but nothing terrible. On the roof, a fair bit of surface rust up there, but no holes. And floorboard, there's no holes, even though there's a lot of surface rust. So I think this truck has a lot of potential in terms of restoring it, because it's going to need a big cleanup. I think that it's certainly a doable thing, but I think if I've left it a bit longer in that shed, it probably would have been getting worse and worse every year. So it's a good time to start cleaning it up and getting this thing back, or restoring it. The engine is still there. Everything's there. It obviously doesn't start, so it needs a bit of work. But a bit of work on this, we could get this engine going. It does actually have a crankshaft here, where we actually can. That's the hole for the crankshaft, and you actually can crank it over manually. So the engine does turn over. Just needs a little bit of work. Okay, well that's it for me. I'll keep you up to date on this project. So that's the number plate in the front. And how I go. What I want to probably do today is just start giving a bit of a clean up, and I would like to put a little bit of sealant over this paint. Here, the paint, it's a lot of, you can see it's wiping it like this, a lot of that white sort of corrosion just comes off. And I think that giving it a light polish and putting some sort of sealant over that will protect that paint a bit. Because I would like to try and keep the original colour if I can, you know. Look at that. Just by rubbing it off with your hand. So basically getting a bit of polish and giving it a clean up, and maybe just around this, just putting a bit of sealant around this window so it doesn't leak. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is give it a clean up inside and outside, give it a bit of a polish, and then put a coat over the top, and then put a cover over the top while I'm working on it. Okay. Yeah, and if we can get this truck restored, what a beautiful thing it'll be. You know, even this wood here, bring it back. Yeah. Yeah, the wood is not rotten away completely. It has, even though it's got, it looks a bit rough. It'll give it a bit of character. So, I better take this ring away and put it away. So, very quickly, this is also a few things I did find, and I actually cleaned all this stuff up. And these are all the rings I found. Now I don't know which of these are used, if any. And this is the box, pistons and rings. And they weren't inside the box, they were just sort of outside that box, or scattered throughout the cab. And then we've got a few other little bits and pieces in here. All this sort of stuff I actually cleaned up. I'm not sure what this is. Engine bearings. This is engine bearings. There. And that, not sure what that is. And then this sort of other stuff I found under the seat. Looks like we've got a headlight piece there, and another headlight chrome, and this looks like some sort of brake piece or something like that. I'm sure that, that looks like a horn maybe. I don't know. Okay, and then there's a few other little bits and pieces, and that bottle, and that there. So yeah, sort of a few things I did find inside there. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, and catch you next time. On that hole there, I've been pulling some stuff out. Look at the material I've sort of pulled out just in that. So there's a huge amount of stuff that mice or that rat has taken into that seat. So what I'm going to have to do is to carefully unclip this vinyl, take it off, and give it a good clean out. But I just was interested to see what else I can find in there, but this is just absolutely disgusting. Look at that. Wow. Whether that was mice on my property or before, I don't know. It could have been just from my property. So anyhow, bit of a job.